"This ring is pathetic," she said while texting a richer ex. So I canceled our wedding and let her keep the ring. Now she's a server at my new engagement anniversary. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I used to think I knew Melissa after 3 years together. I thought I understood her Instagram obsession, her need for validation, her constant comparisons to other couples. I told myself it was just insecurity, that underneath it all, she valued the same things I did: loyalty, building something real together, choosing substance over flash. I was wrong about everything. The proposal happened at Marcello's, this little Italian place where we'd had our first date. Nothing fancy, but it meant something to us. At least, I thought it did. I'd been planning it for months, saving every extra dollar from my software engineering salary. The ring cost me 3 months of careful budgeting, $8,000 for a modest but beautiful solitaire. I wanted something that would remind her of us, not something to show off to strangers. I gave this whole heartfelt speech about our memories, how she made me want to be better, how I pictured us growing old together. She said yes, of course, cried a little, posted a photo immediately. But even in that moment, I noticed how she angled her hand away from the camera, how quickly she pulled it back after the photo. The criticism started in the car. "It's cute. Very you," she said, examining the ring under the streetlight. "You don't like it?" I just thought. I mean, Sarah's ring was twice this size, and Tom makes less than you. I wanted something that felt right for us. Right for us? Jake, this is what I'll wear forever. People will judge me by this ring. They'll think you don't value me. I should have paid attention to that word choice. Not us. Me. The engagement party was the following weekend at my parents' house. Mom had spent days decorating, baking, turning their modest living room into something warm and celebratory. Dad grilled burgers, my sister made a playlist, my aunts brought casseroles. Nothing Instagram-worthy, but filled with people who actually cared about us. Melissa arrived an hour late. "Sorry, traffic was insane," she said, but I'd seen her Instagram story from the nail salon 20 minutes earlier. She spent the first half hour taking photos of herself with various family members, but I noticed she kept her ring hand positioned away from the camera, or hidden behind flowers, or somehow obscured in every shot. She was on her phone constantly. Even during my dad's toast, she was typing under the table. "You okay?" I whispered. "Just work stuff," she said without looking up. But I caught a glimpse of the screen. It wasn't work. The contact name said Derek Moneybag, and the message preview read, "Can't wait to see you tonight." My stomach dropped, but I told myself it was nothing. Derek was her ex from college, some investment banker she'd dated briefly years ago. Maybe he was congratulating her. Maybe it was innocent. It wasn't innocent. 2 days later, she left her phone on the kitchen counter while she showered. I wasn't snooping. A message notification popped up right as I walked by. "Divorce final next month. Your place tonight?" Face blowing a kiss. My hands were shaking as I opened the thread. Weeks of messages. Hotel confirmations. Photos of expensive dinners I definitely couldn't afford. Heart emojis. Plans made for times when I was at work or traveling for my job. She came out of the bathroom in a towel, saw me holding her phone. "Who's Derek?" I asked. "What? Why are you going through my phone?" I wasn't. A message popped up about his divorce being final. She went very still. He's going through a rough time. I'm helping him through it. By meeting at your place while I'm at work." God, you're so paranoid. We're friends. I'm allowed to have friends. Friends don't send heart eye emojis about hotel rooms, Mel. She snatched the phone back. "You're being ridiculous." But the next morning, looking for my car keys in her purse, I found hotel receipts. The Ritz-Carlton, the Four Seasons, places that cost more per night than I made in a week. All recent. All during times she'd told me she was working late or out with girlfriends. When she got home from yoga class, I had the receipts spread on the kitchen table. "Fine," she exploded before I even said a word. "Yes, I've been seeing Derek. You want to know why? I think I deserve that. Because he actually has his life together. He drives a BMW, not a 10-year-old Honda. He takes me to real restaurants, not Applebee's with a coupon. We've been planning a wedding, Mel. With what money? Your sad little savings account? Derek spent more on dinner last night than you did on this pathetic ring." The word hit like a slap. Pathetic. So this is about money? It's about ambition. It's about not settling for less than I deserve. Derek doesn't apologize for wanting nice things. "You act like wanting better makes me shallow." I never said that. You didn't have to. Every time I mentioned upgrading this apartment, or getting a nicer car, you'd give me that look. Like I was being unreasonable. Because we were saving for our future. What future? This. She gestured around our modest one-bedroom. Jake, I'm 26. I'm not wasting my best years on maybe. Derek offers certainty. He's married Melissa. Separated. The divorce is almost final. And you believe him? He's not like you. He doesn't make promises he can't keep. I stared at her. This woman I'd planned to marry, who'd met my family, who'd cried when my dog died, who I'd supported through her job changes and family drama. She was looking at me like I was the problem. I want the ring back, I said quietly. Excuse me. The ring. I want it back. Are you serious? You gave this to me. I gave it to someone who wanted to marry me. That's clearly not you. Jake, don't be dramatic. We can work this out. Give me the ring, Melissa. She twisted it on her finger, and for a moment I thought she might actually take it off. Then her jaw set. No. This ring represents 3 years of my life. I'm not giving it back because you can't handle me having friends. Friends. I'm keeping it. She grabbed her keys and stormed out. I heard her car screech out of the parking lot. I sat in the quiet apartment for maybe an hour, just processing. Then I started making phone calls. The wedding venue was surprisingly understanding. We were still 8 months out, so they refunded most of the deposit. The caterer was less flexible, but I only lost $500. The photographer, the DJ, the florist, I called them all. Some charges I had to eat, but I recovered about 70% of what we put down. The hardest call was to my mom. Oh, sweetheart, she said when I explained. I'm so sorry. Don't be sorry for me, Mom. Be sorry I wasted 3 years on someone like that. Do you want us to cancel Sunday dinner? I know it might be awkward with everyone asking about wedding plans. Actually, I'd like to come. I want to tell everyone together, get it over with. That Sunday, I gathered my family in the living room and showed them the text screenshots. I kept it simple, factual. Melissa had been cheating, the engagement was off, please don't ask her to family events anymore. My sister wanted to key her car. My dad wanted to call her father. Mom just hugged me and said she'd always thought something was off about how Melissa talked to service workers. I changed the locks that week, boxed up her stuff, and left it with her friend Sarah. Blocked her number, her social media, her email. I didn't want to hear her explanations or excuses. I'd heard enough. Meanwhile, Melissa wasted no time moving in with Derek. Her Instagram became a parade of expensive restaurants, designer shopping bags, weekend trips to wine country. She looked happy, vindicated, even, like she'd finally found someone who matched her ambition. The captions were subtle digs. Finally with someone who knows my worth. Life's too short for settling. Grateful for people who lift me up instead of holding me back. I deleted Instagram. I threw myself into work. Started going to the gym again. Hung out with friends I'd neglected while I was trying to keep Melissa happy. It was peaceful, not having to justify every small purchase or defend my career choices or pretend to care about influencer drama. About 6 months later, Sarah called me. Jake, I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but Derek's wife showed up at Melissa's apartment yesterday. His wife? Yeah, turns out he was never separated. Just lying. She found out about the affair and went ballistic. Melissa had no idea he was still married. I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no vindication. Just tired. That's unfortunate, I said. She kicked him out. He lost his job too, apparently. Something about using company credit cards for personal expenses. All those fancy dinners. Company money. Okay. She's pretty devastated, Jake. She's been asking about you. I'm not interested in hearing from her, Sarah. Please don't give her my number. But no, I mean it. Sarah sighed. She really screwed up, didn't she? She made her choice. But Melissa didn't just disappear quietly. Over the next few months, she tried everything. She called from different numbers until I blocked them all. She showed up at my office building until security banned her from the property. She sent messages through mutual friends, through social media accounts I'd missed blocking, through her family members. The messages followed a predictable pattern. First, explanations. Derek had manipulated her. She'd been confused. She never stopped loving me. Then apologies. She was sorry. She'd made a terrible mistake. She wanted to make it right. Then bargaining. We could go to therapy, start fresh. She'd prove she'd changed. I didn't respond to any of it. According to the friend network, things got bad for her quickly. Derek had stuck her with the lease on an expensive apartment she couldn't afford alone. Her credit cards were maxed from trying to maintain a lifestyle beyond her means. She had to move back in with her parents at 27, which was apparently a daily source of shame since her father had loved me and made no secret of his disappointment in her choices. She started calling in favors, asking friends to intercede. "Jake, it's Mike, my college buddy called one evening. Melissa asked me to reach out." "Did she?" "Look, man, I know she hurt you, but she's really going through it right now. Her whole life kind of imploded." "Mike, I'm going to stop you right there. I don't want updates on Melissa's life. I don't want to hear about her problems. I don't want messages from her friends. Come on, you guys were together for 3 years. Yeah, and she threw it away for a BMW and fancy dinners. Her consequences aren't my responsibility. She's living with her parents, dude. She's working retail. Good for her for finding work." "Jake, I'm hanging up now. Don't call about this again." The attempts got more desperate. She tried showing up at places she knew I'd be, my gym, my favorite coffee shop, my apartment building. I saw her sitting in her car outside my office a few times, but security handled it before she could approach me. Through the grapevine, I heard she'd started telling people I was emotionally abusive and had financially controlled her, that I'd isolated her from friends and made her feel worthless. The people who actually knew us didn't buy it, but it gave her a narrative that made her the victim instead of the person who cheated on her fiancé. I didn't defend myself. The truth was visible to anyone who wanted to see it. Time moved on. I got promoted to senior developer, then lead engineer. Started dating again, casually at first. Met Emma at a bookstore. She was a middle school teacher, funny and kind, with zero interest in social media validation. She drove a 15-year-old Subaru and was proud of it. Talked about her students instead of her follower count. Cared more about substance than appearance. When I proposed to Emma 3 years later, I did it on a hiking trail we both loved, with a ring that cost half what Melissa's had but meant everything to Emma because I'd chosen it specifically for her. She cried real tears, not Instagram tears. Said yes because she wanted to marry me, not because she wanted to be married. The engagement party was at the same restaurant where Emma and I had our first official date. Nothing fancy, but the people there genuinely celebrated us. Emma's parents, my family, our real friends. Emma wore a sundress from Target and looked radiant. She kept staring at her ring like she couldn't believe it was real. We were there celebrating our 2-year engagement anniversary. We'd taken our time planning the wedding, saving money, enjoying being engaged. When I saw her, Melissa was our server. She'd aged in a way that suggested hard years. Still pretty, but tired around the eyes. Thinner than I remembered. Wearing the standard black uniform of the upscale restaurant chain where she apparently worked now. She recognized me immediately. I watched her face cycle through surprise, hope, embarrassment, and something that might have been calculation. "Jake? Oh my God, hi." I looked up calmly. "Hi. Hi. Wow, you look great. Is this your—" "I'm Emma, his fiancée," Emma said with a smile, extending her hand. Melissa's smile became forced. "Congratulations. That's wonderful." "Thank you," I said simply. She lingered at our table longer than necessary, clearly wanting to say more. "Jake, could we maybe talk for a minute? When I'm on break." "I don't think that's necessary. Please, I've wanted to explain. Melissa, we're here to celebrate our engagement anniversary. Could we get the check?" Her composure started cracking. "I made a mistake, Jake. The biggest mistake of my life. Derek, everything fell apart. I lost everything." I stood up, helping Emma with her chair. "We should go. You don't understand." Melissa's voice rose slightly, enough that other diners started looking. "I should be married with kids by now, not serving tables at 35. You ruined my timeline." I paused, looked back at her calmly. "You made your choices, Melissa. I made mine." Emma and I walked out without another word. In the car, Emma was quiet for a moment. Then, "That was her, wasn't it? The ex-fiancée?" "Yeah. Are you okay?" I considered the question seriously. Was I okay? I looked at Emma. Brilliant, genuine Emma who'd chosen me not for what I could buy her, but for who I was. I thought about our modest apartment that we were saving to buy, our simple wedding plans, our quiet Sunday mornings reading together. "I'm perfect," I said and meant it. Emma squeezed my hand. "Good, because I was ready to throw hands if she kept bothering you." I laughed. "You would have destroyed her." "Damn right I would have." We drove home to our little apartment, where Emma immediately changed into pajamas and I made us tea. No drama, no social media posts, no analyzing every word of the encounter. Just us, comfortable in our real life together. I never saw Melissa again. Emma and I got married 8 months later in a small ceremony that cost less than one of Derek's hotel nights, but was perfect for us. We bought our house 2 years after that. Had our first kid last year. Sometimes I wonder if Melissa ever figured out that she didn't lose a timeline. She lost the only person who actually loved her for who she was instead of what she could provide. But honestly, I don't think about her much anymore. She's just someone I used to know, back when I didn't understand the difference between loving someone and enabling them. Emma understands the difference. That's why our timeline is exactly where it should be. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.